Hello and welcome everyone to this week's edition of Learning Space. I'm Nicole Gallucci with CosmoQuest, also a postdoc here at Southern Illinois University, and I'm joined by my co-host, Georgia Bracey.
Hello.
Hello, just down the hall from me here at SIUE.
Right.
And our two guests this week are Jolene Carlberg.
Hello.
And Rachel Beatney. Wave. We are going to be talking about some children's books with science and astronomy. And the first thing I wanted to do, so we usually do a hands-on demo of some sort, but instead we're just going to kind of talk a little bit about some of our favorite children's books. And I know, Georgia, you had one that was pretty popular in the comment threads.
Who knew? It's a great book, though, so I don't know if I can... There it is. This is a wonderful book. It's The Stars by H.A. Rey, who is also the guy that does the Curious George series, which I think is just a fantastic thing, too. But this book, I actually must have been about 10 or 11. I stole it from my brother. My brother actually got it. I don't know if he knows this. He got it for a birthday or something from my grandmother, and I remember just seeing it, and it looked good, and I took it away and started reading it, and it's really one of the reasons that I got interested in astronomy in the first place. But it's got all kinds of great some stories about the constellations, and it's really a guide to the sky. I'm just going to show. It redraws the constellations in sort of a non-traditional way, although some of you guys might see these as kind of familiar because some of the portable planetariums use this way of drawing the constellations in their planetarium. So this kind of drawing style is out there, but he basically took the traditional style, the Greek style of doing the constellation pictures, and redid it in a way that really tried to look like what the constellations were. So he, drew the twins as little stick figures holding hands, and he drew, the bear and the lion, and they all, really looked much more like what they're supposed to be. Not quite as fancy, but all just stick figures. So it was a very friendly guide to the sky. Plus he has stories about all the constellations, so you can remember where to find them, how some of them go together. They're linked by a story. And then as you go towards the end of the book, there's some more advanced things, I guess. One thing, I guess it's a northern hemisphere centric book, so it's got the northern sky in it, but at the end it does have some plates that show you the constellations from the southern hemisphere point of view, which is good. And then there's some more advanced topics too that he treats a little bit, just on an introductory level, size of the universe, speed of light, things like that. So it's a great introductory book. But I still use it because it's my way of finding, it's how I learned the constellations, and it's my way of finding, my way through the stars. The first copy of this book that I had, that I bought for myself, not the one that I stole, was a paperback copy, and I used to take it out observing all the time, and of course it got, kind of mangled, and the pages started falling out, and the dew would get on it, and it would get all crumply, and so I ended up taking it all apart, sort of flattening it out and laminating it. So, and then I would 3-hole punch it, and I still have this thing in a binder that I have in the trunk of my car. And I still use it to, get oriented in the night sky when I go out. When I was teaching 5th grade, I had this book in my classroom, and in fact I had a couple copies. I had students that wanted to check it out. They liked it. I used to recommend it to parents all the time. I don't even know when this thing was first published, but it's still available. It's been around a long time, and you can get it on Amazon or whatever. It's a great book for getting kids interested in astronomy and getting them going with their first look up in the night sky and finding those constellations. So that is my favorite childhood book, and really still one of my favorite books. I love this book. Highly recommended. The Stars by H.A. Rey.
Yeah, I think you can find that. Yeah, I think you can find that on Amazon. At least you can find
Yeah,
it.
I know it's still around, and it's not that expensive, at least last time I checked.
See, when I saw it this morning, I'm like, that book looks really familiar, because when I was older, I gave away all my kids' books to like teachers and to libraries. So I don't have any of my children's books, from my childhood. I had stuff with star maps. I don't know what it was, and I think that was one of them. And I emailed my mom earlier today to see if she remembered. She's like, yeah, I remember the star maps, don't remember the name of the book. But that's a good place to start. And there's a lot of recommendations happening in the comment thread for this hangout, and also over on my wall. So, for example, this was one that was kind of a Dr. Seuss like book called "You Will Go to the Moon." And it was published in 1959? 1959, so before we went to the moon, which is really cool. So that was a favorite.
The world is very different now.
Suggested. I didn't
For
write down name.
man holds in his mortal hand.
My notes are everywhere. And so there's a list of some of our oh, here's another one.
And yet the same revolutionary
this one is a very unassuming cover.
for
The Observer's Book of Astronomy by Sir Patrick Moore.
still at issue around the globe. The belief that
So yeah, I just went to Amazon and found all of these, and there's used copies that you can find of most of these books. These are people's favorite books. Some of our viewers' favorite books.
We dare not forget
as
today
for more recent books, one of my
we are
favorites,
the
there's like a
heirs
whole
of that
series of
first
these.
revolution.
It's Max Goes to
Let the
blah,
word
blah,
go
blah. And
forth
this one he goes to the
from
moon,
this time
and I
and
have
place
Jupiter and Mars here as well.
to friend
You
and
have one?
foe alike.
Jupiter!
That the torch
Oh,
has
Jupiter.
been
And
passed
Mars, yeah.
Mars.
to a new generation of
So
Americans.
these are by Jeff
Born
Bennett,
in
and the
this
main
century,
character is his
tempered by
dog,
war,
Max. And so he's got these
disciplined
really
by a
cool
hard
and
and bitter
very
peace,
scientifically accurate stories
proud
about this
of our
dog Max that
ancient
goes
heritage,
visiting all these places.
and
So it's got the
unwilling to
children's book
witness
aspect.
or
It's got beautiful
permit
artwork. It has a
slow
story, and then
undoing
it's got the stuff on the side
of
with
those
more
human
information
rights
about what's
to
going
which
on
this nation
in
has
the
always
story. A
been
little bit more
committed,
scientific information for older
and
kids.
to which we are committed
So
today
those books I really
at
like.
home
I was not a kid when
and
they came
around
out,
the
but I like
world.
them now because I'm a big kid. Rachel, I saw you posted another Dr. Seuss
Let every nation know.
Yeah, this is the
Whether
one that
it
we do
wishes
with
us
DSBK.
well
It's called
or ill,
There's
that we shall pay
There's No
any
Place Like
price,
Space.
bear
And it's
any burden,
a rhyming book,
any
but it teaches
hardship,
you a mnemonic to help
support
remember the
any
planets.
friend,
And I actually have,
oppose
Do we have both
any
versions?
foe,
I have both versions.
to assure the
The
survival
Pluto
and the
is a
success
planet
of
and
liberty.
isn't a planet version.
Yeah, no, I remember.
This much we
I
pledge
remember
and more.
Kelsey reading that to
To those
students.
old allies
DSBK is
whose
Dark
cultural
Skies Break Kids.
and
This is the
spiritual
program
origins
that
we
Rachel
share.
works for, and Jolene
We
and
pledge
I
the loyalty
used to
of
work for,
faithful
still
friends.
connected to. It's a
United,
actually, why don't you
there
guys
is little we cannot
tell us a little
do
bit about
in a
Dark Skies
host
Break
of
Kids.
cooperative ventures. Divided, there is little
Rachel,
we can
what do
do.
you think?
For we dare not meet
knows
a
it all?
powerful challenge at odds.
Go ahead, Jolene.
And
Okay,
split
well,
asunder.
I'll talk a little bit about it. So
To
Dark
those
Skies
new
Right Kids
states
is
whom we
a
welcome
program
to the
that we
ranks of the
started,
free,
like 3
we
years ago
pledge
now?
our
Maybe
word
almost 4?
that one
Um,
form of colonial
It seems
control
like a lot, but I think that's
shall
right.
not have passed away,
But
merely
the
to be
basic idea of it
replaced
was to
by
try
a far
to
more iron
take
tyranny.
astronomy and
We shall not always
science
expect to
outreach
find
to
them
local
supporting our
rural
view.
schools in Virginia.
But we shall
With the
always
idea
hope to
that
find them
these rural schools very
strongly
rarely get the
supporting their
opportunity to
own
have
And
these sort of
to
outreach
remember
programs come to
that
the
in
schools
the
just
past,
because there's much smaller number of
those
kids than
who
in bigger city
foolishly
schools.
sought power
But they also have the
by
great advantage
riding the
that
back
they're
of the
rural
tiger
and have great dark
ended up
skies that we
inside.
can take advantage of. And so the basic idea is that a group of volunteers at the University of Virginia, part of
to
this
those
program,
people
go to a school
in the
every
huts and
Friday,
villages of
the same
half the
school
globe,
for a semester every Friday,
struggling to
and
break the bonds of mass
do fun
misery.
sciencey projects
We pledge our
with the
best
kids,
efforts to help
and
them
then
help
try to
themselves.
get telescopes to the school a
For
couple
whatever
of
period
times
is required,
during the semester as
not
the weather
because the
cooperates,
communists
and
may be
invite
doing
the
it,
students' families to come
not
as well,
because we
and do
seek
some
their vote,
observing at the school
but
itself,
because it is
so that the
right.
kids and the families in
If
the
a
local
free
community
society
can get the opportunity to look
cannot help the many who are
look
poor,
at interesting astronomical objects
it
that are
cannot
sitting
save
right in
the
their
few who
backyard
are rich.
that may have gone unappreciated or just underutilized, I
To
suppose.
our sister republics
So that's the basic rundown.
south of our border,
It
we
was,
offer
yeah,
a
I will
second
admit it was
pledge
one of my favorite parts of grad school.
to
was
convert our
the
good words
DSPK on
Yes.
Friday.
into great
and playing
in a
science
new
Forward to-
alliance
yes.
with third
for
graders.
progress,
Yeah, yeah.
to assist
And
free
so
men
Dark Skies Bright Kids
and
has
free
been
government
working on a children's
in
book
casting
itself, and
off
so
the
I have
chains
my
of
copy
poverty.
that you guys sent me a while back,
but this
I have my copy as
peaceful
well.
revolution
called
of
Snapshots of the Universe.
cannot
Yay, we
become
all got
the
copies.
praise
Yay.
of higher
And
powers.
so,
Let all our
can you,
neighbors know
would you like to tell me about
that we
how
shall
this
join
book
with
got
them
started? Why did
to
you?
oppose
Why did
aggression or
you?
subversion
I wasn't involved in the original
anywhere
decision to start
in
it,
the
so I can say
Americas.
why did you
And let
decide to
every other
start working
power
on a
know
children's book?
that this hemisphere intends to remain
Well,
the
it
master
started
of its own
because
house.
one of our volunteers, her name was Laura Jackson, was working with a student, a non-native English speaker. English
To
was a
that
second
world
language student,
assembly of sovereign
and
states,
had
the United Nations,
so she was basically
Our
translating
vast
into Spanish a lot of what was going on during the club.
in an age
And
where
to
the
help
instruments
communicate
of
with
war
her, she started.
have far
She went a
outpaced
little nuts, and she made all of this art.
We
These
renew our place
beautiful,
to
which is
support.
the actual quote we have on
To
our
prevent
website.
it from becoming
This beautiful art
merely
out
a
of layered
form
paper,
perspective
and she was using it to help teach
strengthen its
this
shield
student.
of the new and the weak,
And
to
then
enlarge
we
the
decided that,
area
hey, we should put it together
which
and
its
use it
grit may
more
run.
long term. I think that's
Yeah.
Finally,
reasonably accurate.
to those
So
nations
here, for example, is
who would
is
make
the moon,
themselves
Luna. And
our
yeah,
adversaries.
I remember seeing. I think you guys
We
have it
offer
framed,
not
have
a
some of this
pledge,
artwork framed or at least
but a request
laminated somewhere in the department.
that both
It's this
sides
layered, textured paper.
begin anew the quest for
Comes out
peace.
really well in the
Before
illustration.
the
So this
dark
isn't even like
powers of
digital
destruction
art. This is, she made this like
unleashed by
scrapbooking
science
type.
Yeah.
engulf
and
all
the book
humanity
kind of came out of that. And so there's
in
a
planned or
Spanish.
accidental
Oh
self-destruction.
gosh, I'm going to Chile in a month.
We dare not tempt them with
Instantaneous
weakness.
del Universo. is-
For only when our arms
Yeah.
are
So what
sufficient
is the
beyond
process
doubt
of putting a kid's book
can we be
together
certain
like
beyond doubt
for a bunch
that
of
they
grad
will never
students who
be
otherwise they'd be writing a
neither
children's book?
can two great
Lots of volunteers,
and
as
powerful
usual.
groups of nations.
Yeah, yeah. I know, Jolene,
Take
you
comfort
you
from our
led the
present course.
writing effort. So in addition to
Both
the
sides
artwork,
overburdened
you led the writing
by the
effort. So we've
cost
got
of modern
these
weapons.
speech bubbles from
Both
these
rightly
objects
alarmed
as they are talking.
by the steady
So why don't you tell
spread
us a
of the
little bit about
deadly
that
atom.
process?
Yeah,
Yet
so
both
when we
racing
decided
toward
to
that
do something a little bit more
uncertain
permanent, I
balance
kind
of
of
terror
jumped at the chance to do
that
the
stays the
writing
hand
just
of
because I thought it would be fun
mankind's
and
final war.
it was kind of seemed like a nice
let us begin
creative
anew.
outlet. I like to do a little bit of
Remembering on both
writing.
sides
I used to write poetry. I haven't
that
in a very long
civility
time,
is
so
not
it
a
seemed to
sign
be
of
a way
weakness,
of trying to get that
and sincerity
get that out. And
is
so I
all
started
that can
working,
improve.
just thinking about how to do this. And
Let us never
another one of the grad
negotiate out of
students at
fear,
the time,
but
Gail
let us
Zazowski,
never fear to negotiate.
was the one who had the idea of actually writing the text in first person, so that because we
Let
have like the
both
artwork was all
sides
done with these
explore
big
what
happy
problems
smiley
unite
faces
us.
Yeah.
on all of the
Instead
objects,
of
and so
belaboring
she had the
those
idea
problems
of
which
trying to
divide
write it
us.
such that these very
Let both
cheerful
sides for the
astronomical
first
objects would then
time
be talking to
formulate
talking to the
serious
reader.
and precise proposals
Yeah, I think we all have favorites.
for
I love the
inspection
Jupiter
and
one.
control of arms.
And so it was just a
and
matter of
bring
trying
the
to sit down
absolute
and write
power
something
to
that was
destroy other
fun,
nations
friendly, and informational,
under the absolute
all at the same
control
time, which actually
of
turned
all
out to be
nations.
very difficult. To
Yes.
try to get things, to say things, because I wanted to say things
Let both sides
in a way that
seek
was
to
somewhat, that
the
was not
wonders of
boring,
science
so that it was interesting,
instead of its terror.
linguistically
Together,
and
let us
also
explore
factually
the stars,
accurate, and
conquer
then
the
also age appropriate, which turned out to be the
eradicate disease,
most difficult.
tap
Which
into
we got,
age? Yeah, sorry,
and
Julie. Which
encourage
ages
the
were you
arts
kind
and
of aiming
commerce.
for?
we were
Let
aiming
both
for
sides unite
third
to
through
heed
fifth grade was a group
in
of
all
students that we
corners
were
of the
working
earth
with DSPK,
the
and so we had
command
the
of
idea
Isaiah
of targeting sort of
to
the same
undo
age
the
group.
heavy burden
Yeah. That's
and let
But
the
I don't
oppressed
remember what
go
it was
free.
like to be a third grader and trying to read, as I discovered.
If a beachhead
Um,
of cooperation
So
may
we
push back the jungle
we
of
had some of the
suspicion,
the kids reading the book and realized
Let
that
both
sort of
sides
overshot the
join
target a
in
little bit,
creating
and so there were a couple of
a new
iterations of
endeavor.
trying to back the
not
text
a new
down
balance
a
of
little
power,
bit.
But a new
But,
world of
yeah.
law,
Read one? Can I read one?
where
Yeah,
the
go for it.
strong
Okay,
are
I'm gonna
just
read Mars.
and the weak
I am
secure.
cold, dry, and rusty
and the
red.
peace
I know I am a
preserved.
puny planet, but I can boast that
All
I have the
this will
tallest
not be
volcano
finished
and largest canyon in
in
the
the
solar
first
system.
100 days.
I have many human spacecraft roaming
Nor will it
across
be
my
finished
face
in the
and
first
flying through my
1,000
skies
days.
to study me. I look
Nor
like
in
a
the
bright
life
ruby in
of
Earth's
this
night sky.
administration.
People love to
Nor
write
even
exciting
perhaps
stories
in
about
our
me.
lifetime on this planet.
So cute.
But let us begin.
Yeah, I was involved. There's also an information, a little bit of more information in the back on each of the objects where we
In
went a
your
little deeper and
hands,
went
my
above the
fellow
age-appropriate
citizen,
level for the parents so that they
more
could get a
than
little more
mine,
information.
will
And
rest the
I think I was
final
part of that
success or
process. And
failure
it was like you
of
said, a
our
lot of
cause.
iterations and a
Since
lot
this
of
country was founded,
haggling over words,
each
individual
generation
words,
of
Yes.
Americans
because we wanted
has
to be
been summoned to
precise
give
and we
testimony
wanted to be
to its
accurate
national
and we
loyalty.
wanted it to make sense
The
in a
graves
tin box.
of young
And yeah, that was
Yes.
who answered
it's a
the
tough-
call
it's a
to
tough deal.
service.
I
Around
think
the globe.
I think one of the hardest ones I
Now
had
the
was
trumpet
trying to describe
Summons us again.
Jupiter
yeah.
and trying
God
to
is
get a
called to
concept
bear
of
arms,
atmosphere
Though arms
that
we
was
need,
correct
Yeah.
God is
and
a call to
understandable
battle,
because
though in
for a
battle we
planet
are,
such as Jupiter, which is very
but a
massive,
call
the
to
concept of
bear the
atmosphere is
burden
very different
of
from
a long twilight
how you
struggle,
feel, the
year
Earth's
in
atmosphere.
and year out,
And so trying to describe that
rejoicing in hope,
without turning it into a dictionary turned out to be
in
very hard.
tribulation,
Yeah.
a struggle against the common enemies
So
of man.
that required a number of
Tyranny.
iterations.
I think the
Disease
universe was another
war
one where
itself.
it's like, okay,
Then we forge against these enemies a
describe the
grand
universe.
and global alliance.
Yeah,
In two
yeah,
sentences.
Yeah.
North and
Rachel,
south,
you did a lot of the
east
design
and
work.
west.
You did a lot
That
of the
can
design
ensure a more
work.
fruitful life
Do you want to tell us a little bit
for all
about that? Because
mankind.
watching you go
Will
through that
you
process was
join
just
in
mind-blowing.
that historic effort?
Oh, I think you're muted. Sound.
In the
Oh
long
no!
world,
Again?
only a few
Ah.
generations have been granted the role of defending freedom in its hour of maximum danger.
Oh no. Okay.
I do not shrink from this
But like I said, what I do
responsibility.
remember is
I
I
welcome it.
never expected that, because we all think, oh, you just kind of slap it together and blah blah blah. I don't know. That's what I
I
thought
do
when
not
the
believe
project kind of started.
that any of us
And there was a lot of
would
more detailed
exchange
design work that
places
went
with any
into
other
getting
people
the artwork
or any other
into a
generation.
format that would show up on the page,
The energy,
and then
the
getting the
faith,
text
the devotion,
into the right
which
format
we
and
bring
Right,
choosing
to
the
this
design
endeavor.
layout.
not just the
will
art,
light our
but
country and
the
all who
words.
serve it.
Right.
Right, and then
And
how
the
much to
glow
even
from
put on a
that fire
page? Did you guys
Yes.
have to deal with
Truly light
that,
the
and
world.
how much text
And
versus
so, my fellow
picture?
Americans,
And
Yeah, and there was also we made
what your
changes
country can do for you,
to the original
ask what you can do
art
for your
as well. So if I remember
Right.
correctly,
Yeah, because you could see, a couple of us, we got nitpicky with the art.
Yeah, so-
it wasn't
My
perfectly
fellow
astronomically
citizens of
accurate.
the
And so,
world,
yes, so the moon was one that had to be
what
adjusted
America
for
will do
scientific
you,
accuracy
what together
because
we
the
can
crescent
do
originally
for
showed
the
the background all the way
man.
through, which is the most common artistic way of representing the moon, but is also factually
whether you
inaccurate
are
since the moon is dark,
citizens
but
of
it is still
America
there and you cannot see
or
stars
citizens of the
through
world.
the moon.
but it could keep
Ask
its
of us.
nose and its mouth, right?
yeah, that's fine.
Same
Yes,
that's,
yes,
we're
that
cool
was
with that.
that was fine.
We're
Um,
totally,
Grace and
yeah.
sacrifice, which we ask
And
of
then
you.
there was one other
good
instance.
conscience, Our
I
only
forget
sure
now
reward, with
which
history
one
as
it
the
was.
final judge of our deeds,
So
let us go
Rachel might
forth
actually
to
remember.
the land we love,
But in the back of the
asking
book,
his blessing,
so we
and his
had
help.
decided that instead of giving more
But
detail
knowing
about
that here on earth,
the individual planets,
God's
they ended up
work
being just grouped together into
truly
their
be
planet
our own.
families.
Yeah.
And so there was a little bit of computer processing of the images to make it look like it was one of the original planet patterns in the background. But this is actually one of So it's a little bit of creative cutting and pasting to get the planet families to look like it was one of its original art pieces as well.
Well, there was a Pluto debate. Because I think Pluto was involved in the original set.
That could be true.
I think Pluto was its own thing, and so and a lot of us were like, no, that's not how it works. It's a planet. So the dwarf planet.
Yes.
So, you know, we wanted to give props to all the dwarf planets, to Ceres and
Yes, and Haumea.
Yeah, with Eris, Maki, and Haumea in the text. And yeah, because Pluto's the one speaking about
Yes.
To Blue.
And that was the one where we found out that we wanted to add that one, but the really pretty background paper that she had used, she couldn't find anymore. Because it was wrapped in some paper that, you know, the inventory changes over. So that was the one that was creatively post-processed. Image post-processing to get the original background to match the original paper.
Some serious graphic and audio problems, and the rest of the group. Andre called it before?
He was, yeah. He was doing.
Yeah, so this was a volunteer project, and like most of the things we do, it started as a hey, this would be cool, and blew up into this giant, but awesome.
Yeah, and also to give more props to Laura, her handwriting is also featured prominently all throughout the book. It was turned into a computer pod.
Yeah, so the most recent, some of the emails I've been on, the book is currently going through the copyright process now. The book itself will be available on the comments, like, the itself is doing a copyright for the book itself. It is a person's handwriting, you know, that's kind of, and the artwork. I want to remind you, if you want to comment, you can comment on the event page if you have a question or a comment. I've been watching for the comments. So if you comment on the event page or on the YouTube channel, we'll see that. If you're watching anywhere else and want to use Twitter, use the hashtag #LearningsSpace. And that will get you into our comment feed as well. And actually, there's a question here that I'll move on to. This is going to be one of my questions, but Rachel. Okay. Oh, we have a chat from Rachel. Okay, good. Book will be copyrighted, but we'll also have Creative Commons. The question is, and I think Rachel might be best for this book, are there any plans to put it into the web app?
Rachel is saying yes.
Yes.
Idea.
Okay. That was something I kind of harped on to the point of being one of the original idea was to get it in the hands, really physically into the hands of kids.
Yes, and I think a lot of the issues, as far as I'm aware, and just based on sort of what Rich mentioned in our private chat, is that since it is an all-volunteer thing, and doing things like putting the classroom and putting things into web apps and stuff like that, it also needs a time for that. And so I know we've had a lot of effort fundraising, but we really needed somebody full-time to work on this book. And as far as I can tell, also from looking at the way DSPK has been going, the club is expanding. Schools want DSPK in their classrooms. The after-school program does, as well as one-off events. Not to mention the fact, Rachel County, one thing we hadn't talked about is that DSPK also has a planetarium. So we're working on developing shows for this, and we only have so much time. So I think it's just a lot of there's so many ideas and so much excitement, but limited amount of time, and most of the volunteers are trying to keep on top of all this outreach stuff, and so it's really just a matter of limits.
Yes, it's mostly graduate students, and now actually quite a few more undergraduates since we've been, I think. Every once in a while we'll leave postdocs involved, but it's all but I think it's important that people can get an online version. Hopefully a way to distribute that constantly. Yeah, and I think you need a full-time person. A PDF could be made available, but it's an actual, ebook takes a whole another realm of production.
Yes.
So, yeah.
And the nice thing about
maybe the answer to the question I've been rambling about.
Right. And the nice thing about the Spanish translation is that it works well both for audiences that we would want to target in the United States, since that's the sort of most common language spoken other than English, but then also the United States has a lot of partnerships with Chilean observatories, or of course a language spoken in Spanish. So it's a multi avenues for distribution that we're looking at.
And in addition, there's since some of the DSBK former UVA DSBK volunteers have gone on to universities in Canada, there is work on a French version as well to be distributed. I don't know as much about that side of the project, but I think Ryan Lynch and Greg Sivikoff have been working to get a French translation of the book made that can be distributed in Canadian schools as well.
Yes, I think a lot of progress has been made on the actual translations,
right.
And then
the Spanish translation was easy because we had several native Spanish speakers as grad students at UVA.
Yes, and so different types of Spanish speakers too. So we could get a Spanish that kind of worked for lots of different regional variations as well.
Right, yeah. So we were lucky in that sense, in that we had that expertise in house.
Yes.
And I wanted to screen share a picture. You mentioned we ran it through with the kids of DSBK. This is a picture that Rachel took at the McCormick Observatory at the University of Virginia of some of our DSBK kids a few years ago. Oh my gosh, they've probably moved on to middle school now, haven't they?
Oh, probably.
Oh, so old. They were elementary school kids at the time. And the local NBC station was doing a feature on the program and on the book, so we got some nice video and shots of them reading the book. But we actually went through this with the club and had them read the book and tell us, did this make sense?
Yes, that was very enlightening. That following that, there was a major revision.
Was there anything that sticks out in your mind as to?
Some of the words were just too vague. Celestial is a very difficult word for that age group to say.
Yes, it's a pretty word, and that's why
it is. It's a very pretty word.
We used it.
Yes.
Yeah. Cool. So yeah, I guess if there's any other, are there any ways that people watching this could possibly help the project? I'm going to wait for Rachel to type. Because, like I said, she's the one who's most closely related to this now, I think. I know that, yeah?
Well, I was going to say, I do know that, DSBK has a web page, and they do have links on there with some information about ways to donate time, supplies, money, thoughts, expertise. And so they can learn more about, let's see if I can get this link for you.
I have the regular DSBK link I can put in the page.
Okay, yeah. And then there's a sidebar where you can read more about most of what we talked about, just what we've been doing with the book, as well as access to a lot of the resources we put together. But another link on there is that if you're interested in learning more or donating time, energy. If you're in the UVA area, I think time is the biggest thing that we need a supply of.
There's an Amazon wishlist on there for everything from astronomy, like rocket kits and snack boxes, and we feed the kids.
It takes place after school, where the kids haven't eaten since lunchtime, and so we like to have full bellies, or at least not empty ones.
Yes. So Jolene, did you use the book actually incorporated into a DSBK activity once you had it, or has this been something you just kind of shared? And
yeah, actually we have not. We've tried with the after school programs to keep it pretty active and very hands-on. So we did have books available for the kids to look at, and I believe the book was available then, but we hadn't built anything specifically around.
There was occasionally story time. I have this very clear picture of Genevieve Messier sitting in this like little chair, and all the kids around her doing story time.
Yeah.
But that is one of the lessons we focused on. Yeah, the very active stuff. But you know, there was the occasional story time.
Yeah.
And I think if people, one thing that I'd like to see is expansion of this concept of doing after school. And I know that DSBK, in addition to the children's book, is working on a set of lesson plans, activity plans. That is going to be finished this semester, I think. And those will be available. Those will be available for free anywhere. If you want to incorporate the hands-on stuff into your classroom or start your own after-school group. We're just talking to one of my coworkers here. It's like, we need to do this in this area because we have a similar population of the rural and the dark skies and wanting to do astronomy outreach. So,
Yeah, and some of our most popular lesson plans are up on the webpage, like the comets and the invisible light ones that you, Nicole, I know you put that one together. I like that one a lot.
None of that was original. It was like, oh, ideas from other people smushed into.
It worked very well.
Yeah.
The comets are always popular, with both the very fun sciencey kind and also the edible kind, both of which.
Yeah, and the one was made of guys with the recipe of cake and it's just everything. Go us, because he emailed us saying, hey guys, your comments are awesome. Mine fall apart. How do you do it? Rachel has responded with the DSBK email address. You know, you guys are happy to partner with other organizations. If people want to see it happen in other languages, I think that would be cool to have a whole suite of them. I mean, it's not a very long book. It's translated. It's a whole page with this much text. Yeah, so if people want to see it in other languages, DSBK
I think we could get some volunteers. as well. Want to know when I'm I will make it later. And I think that's it. Any last words, Jolene or Rachel? Rachel is texting. What are you working on now, Jolene?
Right now I am working on studying advanced stars so I just went to Chile last month.
Sweet. I'm going to Chile in a month. I need to talk to you.
Okay, that's good. I can help out. And I haven't learned to speak Spanish yet. And get by. I'm going to, and I should.
In one language I have any experience with, so I probably don't remember much of it, but it's better than when
I did much better in German.
Yes, that's
why I
right.
have a...
You did very good. So thank you guys. Thank you, Jolene. Thank you, Rachel, for coming. I'm so sorry the audio didn't work, Rachel. Yeah, if you want any other information about Dark Skies Bright Kids, if you Google Dark Skies Bright Kids, it'll take you to the website. It's the link in the event page. It's www.astro.virginia.edu/. So, not intuitive, but Google Dark Skies Bright Kids.